I would say let's end this quickly, but the show kind of did that itself. So it really makes you realize just how pointless it all was when you realize just how quickly it can all be wrapped up. And I cannot stress this enough, how it could have easily just been a TV movie or something like that, and did not need to be stretched out like this. So, and you can always tell when you'll notice a lot of times the finale is usually the longest episode of a series because they have so much to wrap up. And when a finale is not, when it's like, I think this is like 5 or 6 minutes shorter than like episode 4. That's when you can usually tell that you're in trouble. Kind of like how episodes of Fargo are usually anywhere from like 40 to 50 minutes, and the finale of season 4 of Fargo was like 35 minutes, and you and you knew they had to wrap it up in this very haphazard way because that was when COVID kicked in and stuff like that. And it was just sort of really unsatisfying to everybody. Yeah, so a finale that that shows you how little it has to wrap up, or how quickly these things can be wrapped up, pretty much speaks volumes in itself. And I'm also really psyched that not only are we done with this now, but this is the last time I have to see that nightmare-inducing intro. Thank God. So, yeah, this goes in all the directions you could see coming 2 episodes ago when Caliban started to become kind of a villain. Just when it's becoming clear what the true meaning of Christmas is and all that, his daughter comes in and he tells her to fuck off. Despite the fact that this is supposed to be about them. He even does the very heavy-handed slip-up of, this is what I've always wanted. Oops, what we've always wanted. Yeah, that's what I meant. Get the fuck out of here. And I said before that he was giving me vibes of the, when the giant toy Santa took over in the second movie. Well, sure enough, as if that wasn't blatantly clear enough, he hires the old soldiers that they apparently had stored away in a closet. That he knew the code to, even though he's been here for... Oh no, yeah, it's been months. I keep forgetting that. But, yeah, so this whole thing is wrapped up very quickly because he's acting like a douche, and then they say, hey, stop acting like a douche. You know, this is what Christmas is. It's about giving, not getting, and shit like that. Just this very standard platitudes that you hear at the end of every single Christmas TV special. And voila, he's not a douche anymore. He gives up the coat pretty easily, and his daughter has to just stand there and say, hey, remember that I exist? And he's like, oh yeah. That's it. That's pretty much it. It's over so quickly, and because it's so underdeveloped, that we have to resort to this MacGuffin orb that they have to get. Apparently this is like the Christmas spirit thing that's going to bring back all the elves that got dusted. And that's pretty much... And then we get to that point, obviously, where... I keep talking about how low the stakes were on this anyway. But we actually get to a moment very quickly where they're like, oh shit, we ran out of time. Bummer. I guess all those elves are going to be gone forever now. Well, whatever. And so... and they expect us to believe, I guess, that that's going to be it. So naturally, a group hug, I guess, brings it back. Apparently this is widespread. Everyone around the world is going to be affected by this because Christmas spirit is dead. But these select few characters just group hug, and I guess that brought Christmas back. I don't know. And you know, the whole soldier thing was very quick because they were all dispatched very quickly by Elizabeth Mitchell in this cringy fight scene that belonged here tonally, apparently. I don't know. It's the whole thing's been a disaster up to this point, but yeah, and obviously this episode started with Scott and the final remaining ELFS guy, who I feel like I remember saying, like, that was funny when they introduced him way back in the first half of the series. But, well, I don't remember him being this annoying a couple of months ago, or whenever it was. That really annoying voice, the whole thing about his Hershey's tinfoil hat, or whatever that joke was, I still don't know. Yeah, just putting up little obstacles here that are just immediately knocked down, that have real no consequences for anybody whatsoever. Not first of all, not that I'm looking for, really giant stakes in a Santa Claus story, or, for people to be in real imminent danger or anything like that. But I mean, the fact that there's like no emotion behind it at all, like that's what the point of that is. Like, it's not like I think this is gonna have some drastic conclusion or drastic ending or something, but there's gotta be some sort of emotion there, and you can see it in the production itself, like how I've been talking ever since Disney Plus was a thing. This started with Noelle, the Anna Kendrick Bill Hader movie, where it was really weird. It remains really weird that Disney has so much. Disney is like the biggest company in the fucking world, next to maybe Amazon, and they could throw anything and everything here, and we just get the most half-ass CGI for all of this stuff. Just this really cheap-looking shit. So, the moment where Scott inevitably turns back into Santa, you would think would be this really big moment, this really magical moment. And not only does it look like really half-ass CGI, but they edit it to shit to make sure we don't see just how half-ass the CGI is as he's morphing back into him. Like, the scene in the first movie, where he shaves and then his beard just grows back all at the same time, was a significantly better effect than anything we're looking at here. It's really weird. That was 1994, and we're in 2023, where they will throw any kinds of money at CGI. And this is what we have. And also talking about how it sucks the magic out of it also to have shitty effects, is what is up with the last scene when the family are all in the sleigh and it's Christmas Eve again and they're flying over and they're surrounded by this ugly ass gray. Like, I get, they're in, like, it's night and it's foggy and stuff like that, but everything's just ugly fucking gray. And not even in this magical, oh, we're in the clouds, on Christmas Eve sort of way. Like, the vibe that you get, like, we don't really see much of that in the first movie, but there's enough there that there's some kind of feeling to it. There's some kind of magic to it. And I don't know what's going on here. Like I said, everything's just gross looking. And talking about these effects and talking about this magical orb this MacGuffin orb and all that, it was weird to me how much I was getting vibes of the Christmas Chronicles movies. And the first Christmas Chronicles movie, I don't really have anything against, but it's the idea of the first movie is such an established classic at this point. And then think of the whole trilogy, even though the third movie is complete shit, still, the fact that trilogy ended over a decade before Christmas Chronicles was even a thing. It's weird that it feels like instead of emulating itself, it's emulating something that's just like a few years old. I mean, whether that's intentional or not, I don't know, but that's what it felt like a lot. Especially with all the CGI animals, when the daughter, like, starts talking to them, I don't know, it gets really weird. There was only one funny moment I could really decipher out of this, and that was when the son was having a heart-to-heart with the drones, and the drones, like, really had feelings. That was kind of fun. And the early taste we got of that, where he called him, like, Drone 52 or something, throwaway, and he's like, I'm Drone 51. And you can sense that he hurt the drone's feelings by not knowing which number he was. And it was kind of a nice, normally I'd say don't milk it, but it was kind of a nice elaboration on that, to see that the drones had, like, feelings, and they were letting them out. That's the best this episode has to offer, is talking drones. So, yeah, like, we've got Noel is coming back to his weird obsession with Santa, and, like, when he went into the deep voice thing, whatever that joke, I guess, was, I don't know, it's really, that whole thing, I don't know what the whole Noel's obsessed with Santa thing was supposed to do, but it never stopped being weird, and they they followed through all the way to the end. So commendment for their commitment, I guess. I don't know. And what's really funny about this also is I talked about how the son having a love interest in that Riley girl thing just being filler. Yeah, when we're like in the epilogue and then they bring that back, oh yeah, he said something about wait for Santa to come down your chimney so you'll know I'm not lying and I'm not crazy. I completely forgot about Riley. just I just completely like the show could have just ended without that having a payoff and I would have never remembered they set that up. But he does the thing and then he leaves back up into the ugly gray. Actually, he doesn't leave. It just abruptly cuts to him standing in front of her till he's back in the sleigh, and they're flying again. And this whole episode was really actually the whole series had like a lot of abrupt cuts in it. Laura San Giacomo's witch came back in this one, and I've already forgotten if that served any purpose whatsoever. Like she served as like a distraction so they could get the coat. Is all I really remember. And her purpose was I don't know. Oh, and not the Riley scene also. It was nice and gratuitous of them to throw in their fucking Loki merch. Right, you know, to remind us. Oh yeah, there's a season 2 of Loki coming. By the way, buy our shit, please. That's pretty gross. So that's that's it. That's it. That's what this whole thing's been building to. That's what 6 episodes built to. That's what me having to drag this out over a couple of months was. All this hold up in our videos, because I hadn't done these videos yet. That was it. That was the whole fucking thing. Was it really all worth it? I don't know. But it's over now, and like I said, we're in the middle of March. Still doing these Santa Claus videos that nobody will see, so I'm just finishing it. I'm just completely for completion's sake. Nobody cares. Certainly not me. So I'm gonna end this now. There's shit coming. There's shit coming. Owen's gonna put out a lot of stuff and annoy the shit out of everybody with how it's all piled up on top of each other. You can thank the Santa Clauses for that one. I'm gonna be talking about 2023 movies for the foreseeable future, and we'll talk about Versus again when like we're getting towards the fall probably. So that's it. We're done here.